I'm so excited today to welcome you here and learn about your experience with the course yeah, and just feature you. Um, so I guess first and foremost, you know what would be really awesome is like in a nutshell, who are ya? And how did you, how did we come to connect?
Okay. So I'm Jen Klein Clark. I own the Bucks County Coffee News, which is a one-page newspaper that people can pick up for free all over Lower Bucks, which is an area just north of Philadelphia. And so I pretty much sell local advertising. And so I've had the business for going to my 6th year now, and about a year and a half ago, I guess, I signed up to join Fabian Fredrickson's, at the time, Client Attraction Business School. And I was, well, I mean, there's so many amazing things that have happened since then, but one of them was being just in awe of Charisse Sue. I got to meet Charisse, I guess it would be probably December of 2015. You always were somebody who really just owns your space and just stood so proudly in your beauty and your awesomeness. And so you always stood out. And so at first I was a little nervous, but intimidated by you, I'd say. But I found you really approachable. And so, through our program, we meet in person fairly regularly. And so I got opportunities to meet you and chat online and things. And so probably a year ago, I was like, man, I'd love to figure out how, or I should say that I would love to say that if I reach a certain level of success, that a great way to celebrate would be to take one of Charisse's programs. So that was kind of my first, yes, that would be such a reward. And then at our November meeting, I got clear on how I'm changing my business and that I want to do more community work and bring in people who can provide expertise in completely new areas for my community. And I was like, oh, and definitely Charisse has got to be one of those people. And so, and you were my very first workshop that I offered to my peeps.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, and thank you so much for your kind words. You're so sweet. I was honored to come and speak to your ladies. It's really exciting to see you really step into, because you already do that, of being that pillar in the community, being that leader, that natural leader. And because what was amazing about the women who did gather at that talk was that they gathered for you. Like, they didn't know who I was. And quite frankly, probably had that first reaction that you did of like, I don't know, like attracted and scared all at the same time.
So true.
Well, it's one of those things where, like we've talked about in the program, it's like what happens is like, this is like the finished result, right? Which is not even finished, but like, this is just where I am now. And, but where I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like unrecognizable. And so it's really interesting. I'm like, I did not pop out of the womb covered in rhinestones and, shimmying. Like, this was a process. So, and I think, like you said, like once people get a chance to sort of get in and experience, it's like, okay, it's actually kind of accessible. But anyway, I love that. So that's how we met. And thank you for giving us some background on your business. And I love where you're expanding into as well in terms of really building that community and providing resources for the people that you serve. So, and I love that I was a reward, like a cherry on top. So fun. Like, and one day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So before, so tell me more about where were you before, or like what the state you were in where you were like, you know, yes, I definitely want to work with this woman. So we kind of got the side of like what it was about me that sort of drew you to this work. And what was it like? Where were you in terms of how you were feeling? What was going on for you? Where you're like, it's time, it's time.
So, and when was the course? When did we kick things off?
Yeah, we kicked off in February. So that was just like mid-February.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so so I have this business coffee news, this little newspaper, and then I'm trying to grow this mastermind component. And I have two kids, 3 and 7 years old, and I so to play this fall, and I really up until this year, I would say I have been successful because I've done such a great job of just ignoring all indications that I'm tired. I just plow through. I am just an excellent plower, um, and it's worked. But what I really have come to realize, and I don't even know, probably the last few years, is that I'm tired. Like I work there's Coffee News is a franchise, and there's many franchise owners in the world, and I'm one of the better ones. Like I'm looked to a lot, but I often but okay, and I'm doing well, and it is. I love my business, and it's a successful business, but it is a business that is successful because I work. I work a lot of hours, and I do a lot to make it happen. And I was just like, gosh, there's got to be a better way. I got to find a way to have this release. And I just feel like I'm always fearful of what's the plate that's going to drop, because there's going to be plates dropping. And so you were putting together the presentation, and there was something, it seems very interesting, this idea that self-care could actually be the path to being more successful. That the idea of taking time out and carving out the space and doing what seems like less work could actually produce better results, quicker results. So it's so contrary to our culture, and certainly to my mindset at the time. And so I really struggled, and so it took me some time to really come around to say, no, I can do this, and take the time out to take this course, and that it's going to get me there, perhaps even quicker, right? And it really, I don't know if this is what you want to hear, but part of it was you coming to me and saying, you really have, expressed interest. There's a lot here for you. I know some of your backstory, and this is going to be the fit. But my resistance was strong. It's just no, I need to stay up later and get more done, and so that's definitely where I was prior.
Thank you. That is so good. And I think you are not alone at all in terms of feeling like that's the answer, right? I mean, that's what we've been taught. Like, just work harder,
Yeah.
just work harder, just push yourself harder. And the thing, especially the way that we're wired as women, like we'll keep going. I mean, um, yeah, like we'll just be like absolute slave drivers with ourselves. And I love that you pointed out how like it worked to a certain extent. Like it got you as far as it had gotten you, which is pretty far, but you're exhausted and there's like no time for self-care. It's just it's all kind of like going out. And so it's like, then what starts to come up is this question of sustainability, right?
Yes.
Where it's like, how, like, okay, I've done it and I've like invested all of this energy, really brought like all of me to this. And how much longer can I sustain it? Like, how much longer can we sustain no sleep and, working all hours and, no. So I think you hit it right on the head, and it's where so many of us find ourselves is like, well, I'm doing all the right things and I've got some success. I want more success, but I can't work more. I'm at my limit. And then it's also like you said too, well, if I'm spinning all these plates and it's taking all of my energy to do that, it's not like if a plate will fall, it's just a matter of time. And so that becomes a concern as well of like, what piece is not going to work. So I think you hit on some really, really good stuff. So you came in and it helped that I said, you need this. I was like, I love you, and everything that you've said is what we speak to in this work. And like, there is another way. There's another way, and it's completely contradictory to what we've been taught. It's contradictory to the primary model, which is a primarily masculine model as well of how to get things done. That burns women out right and left, So,
really so Charisse, before you move on, the other thing so that's all business, right? Like that was a big piece of it. It was business, but it was also about the lack of balance. So I've worked really hard at these are the hours that I work, and then the school bus comes and I turn it off, and I'm there for my kids, and I'm pretty good about that. But really, and I didn't even really see like that I was stressing, that I was bringing the stress into our family. But my son started having basically like panic attacks, and through the work of helping him and giving him tools, I realized he is just like this perfect mirror of me, and that I was bringing this junk that wasn't really it was in the background and really mudding up his world. And it was just spilling out all over him. And so yeah, that stress, I thought I had contained it, and it wasn't being said, but it was definitely in the air.
It was impacting, as good as you were about compartmentalizing and like creating those boundaries. He was still picking up on your stuff, and our kids are.
Yeah.
They are relentless mirrors. Like they just will not, like we can't get away with anything. They see everything. So even when we think we're holding it together, we're like, oh, we got this. Like, you're good. Like they will reflect back. So the fact that he was showing his stress, kind of like absorbing, seeing what you were going through, and then like dealing with it in his way as a child. Just sort of said, well, maybe things aren't as airtight as they appear from the outside. Yeah, it's kind of like the little like flags, right? It's like the flags that start going up. like, maybe this isn't working.
Yeah.
But that's such a good point that you bring that up too, that it is too about that ineffable, that balance. Like, how do we balance? What does that even look like?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of models for that. Cool. Well, so what changed? Like, what, you came into the work kind of kicking and screaming, which I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And what shifted for you? Like, what, after doing some of this work, or even just getting into it, like, what were some of the things that started to come to the surface? What started to shift?
So I was trying to think of like different areas, and really it's all around this kind of same nut. And I don't know that I have it as much as I've become better at this. So I really have.
It's about practice, not perfection, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it's definitely practice. I worked. Again, I just gotta say, like, I've been proud of the fact that I've learned how to turn off all indicators and just move ahead, and that listening, not shutting down what my body was trying to tell me, was somehow a level of accomplishment. And what you really helped me to see is that it's all, not being able to turn that off really just was shutting off access to wisdom that I had within me, and that I've always wanted to get to this next level of self, right? That there's, like, if I do these things, then I can be over here. But you really have turned that on its head to say, no, she's within you, and we're just like peeling back the crap that you've cellophaned away, and allowing your trueness to shine from within. That's so profoundly different from what I always thought I was trying to reach for other, and that it's not. It's all right here, and so that's the the existential version. Like it's I don't know, philosophy. That's kind of what's been going on, but it's been very practical. So not too long ago, I was just stressed out, and I was paralyzed with, like, there's so many things that I could do. I can't imagine which one I'm going to choose. So I'm just going to sit here and just be like live in anxiety. And I just had this clear message that my body was just like, I want to just lie on the floor and just breathe. And any other time I would have been like, shut up, focus, go do some damn work already, right? And instead, only because of the work with you, I was like, I'm allowed to do this, and that it's okay. And it wasn't anything about like what I thought I would get out of it. I was just like, I just need to breathe, right? So I'm just going to go, and I'm just going to do this. And so I do. And oh my gosh, within moments, I felt like puzzle pieces just falling into place, and where it had felt so disconnected, and that there was all this little things, but now I felt like this synergy of what I was doing just fall into place, and I just felt this huge relief. And so that happened, and then a little while later, my son's bus stop is the same day. My son's bus stop is a good distance, so a lot of times I'll just drive. And I was like, no, I'm going to go for the walk. rather than work the extra 20 minutes, right? Like I go and I go for a walk. And on my walk, I just was like, oh, bring them cake was my download. And it's now a new aspect of my business where I am reaching out to clients or prospects who I'm having a hard time bringing in, but they are at a level of success or a level of business that's they could be a big advertiser with me. And I now have a relationship with a bakery who's known for being the best of lower bucks. And so I bring them the best of lower bucks because I represent the best of lower bucks. And so it's this perfect marriage. And I've been doing it and I've been closing business because I bring them cake. All because I took a breath, right? It's so profoundly silly and beautiful and a perfect match for who I am. And they're one of, it's a place where you can pick up the paper. So I get to serve somebody who, already has been a fan of coffee news. It's beautiful on so many levels. I make the office happy when I bring in these sticky buns. Like everybody, it's a win, 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 win all the way around. And it all happened because I took time to breathe and I took time to be in nature. That's all. That's all it took.
Yeah. I'm so just like blown away. This is so beautiful what you're describing, because it's exactly that. Like, we are reaching outside of ourselves for some solution outside of ourselves. Yeah. And then meanwhile feeling pulled in a million different directions. And then what ends up happening is, what happens when instead we try something else on for a change of, what if I actually know this? What if the answer is inside me? What if the answer is in the body? And the thing is, like, our superpowers are our creativity, our play, like our flirtatiousness. You know what I mean? Like, these really totally feminine traits, which, yeah, like, would you ever think, well, clearly, I need to go walking in nature. I need to lie down on the floor. Bring them cake. I love this so much. First of all, I'm just like honoring and acknowledging, like, just the idea of, like, so I got this download and this is what I'm going to do. You're talking about your intuition. You're talking about your creativity. You're talking about your love for play, which up until now, like, the message had been, no, it's just more work, and actually taking pride in denying the body, right? Super, super powerful that this switch happened, and then what actually happened was, it's become more effortless to make the decision. And those like intuitive downloads then guided you towards signing your bigger clients. That's really, really, that's huge. That's exciting. That's super, super exciting.
Yeah. So the first client that I brought you, I actually is already a current client, but it's a huge chunk of my life when he resigns. And I hadn't heard from him, so I wasn't quite sure what was going on when he got the renewal notice. And I brought them cake, and then he wrote me back. He's like, Jen, I love Coffee News. Like, this is just awesome. Of course, I'm going to sign up again. Where I really was not sure at all what was going to happen the week before, So I've actually, April is my best month of the year because of cake.
Fantastic. That is so wonderful. And that answer was inside you the whole time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and so that's the other piece that I think you're good at saying, is that self-care doesn't have to be like a spa day where you're like completely stepping out of your life. I don't know, it was a collective 8 minutes, of being laying on the floor and going for the first part of the walk, so it's just so funny how little time it really does take.
Yeah, so well put. It's again, it's that same thing of like, it has to be something outside. Like I have to take myself out of my environment and go get a massage and go to, and again, it's like, I'm not knocking any of those things because I think those are great too. However, um, yeah, when we're running our business and we're taking care of our families, and we've got like all these different plates that we're spinning, how do we keep this cup filled up? Well, it means having strategies to just weave it in, to have it like as part of the natural fabric of your day. And so that's why so much of my emphasis is in that area. It's like, well, how do we bring it in here? Like if I can't go out to the spa day all the time, how do I put like little spa moments throughout my day
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
really tap into my own wisdom, intuition, creativity, and pleasure. So what would you like? So you talked about signing these amazing clients, how it's been tremendous for your business to be able to connect with your body, really. I mean, that's really what it's boiling down to. What have been, so like if you were to say like most significant takeaways, most significant changes, I think we already hit on at least one, right?
For
I mean,
sure.
yeah, like a
That's a
direct connection with increased sales. Whoa, how fun is that?
right. Right. Yeah. So another one would be to I don't know that I spend any more time in the shower or that I really do a different kind of shower, but I have changed to say, like, I love this. Like, I love just the quiet of hearing the water and just enjoying just the water, being underneath the water of the shower. So the mindset of just relaxing in that moment has changed. And the other day, this wasn't long ago. This was just like last week, I think. Uh, I was really just like, just enjoy this water, and then I ended up having this beautiful vision of being in a river where I'm standing in the river, and I am enjoying just feeling the water, just the current move through my legs, and then I realized that there's fish that are pooling and the water is pooling because I'm kind of at the end of this waterfall, um, and then I realized, I'm like, oh, I could just hop in this tube, like one of those to go tubing down the river kind of thing, and I just see myself in the river, and just floating by, and just how effortless it was, how beautiful it felt. And the fish were now kind of swimming with me and jumping, which normally would freak me out, but in the vision, it was very beautiful. And that has stayed with me. Like, I can, go back to that feeling and that sensation of just the freedom of just floating, and it very quickly can get me back to this place of just like, it's all good. Like, I don't have to fight against the current. I can go with it, and that the current is bringing me exactly where I need to be. It's been a nice shift. I'm not always there, but I can get when I realize it, I can get myself back there pretty easily, and I do it multiple times a day.
Yes, exactly. And perfect.
Yeah.
So well done.
Yeah. And so I had, so it was last Friday's shower is when that happened. And then I just decided I was just going to have this effortless day. And then a little while later, I was supposed to have an appointment. The appointment got shifted to the afternoon. And then a guy called me who said he's been reading Coffee News for years, and he's finally ready. And I'm like, well, I can come now because my appointment shifted. And we closed all within like an hour.
Oh my God, that's so amazing.
Right? I mean, like, I didn't know him at all, but he had known me, right? So it was just effortless. It was just like being in that tube.
Yeah, exactly. So like Your imagination is your intuition. Your visions is intelligence that's being communicated to you.
Yeah.
And what's so cool about what you're describing is like you're just allowing it in. Whereas before it was like, no, no, right? That doesn't fit here. I know what I need to do. I need to work. And just by reframing some of the things that you do every day, so that there is that awareness, that appreciation, that like allowing the body to have her space, a tremendous vision that you had, and then how it immediately, right? It's like it is and can be that effortless and that beautiful. And I love, like, it always works that way. It's like we become like instant manifestors, really and truly. Like when we start tapping into the power of all of this, it's like, oh, I can just go with the flow. And your calendar just opened up just so that you would have exactly the time that you needed for this guy to call right at the moment, be like, hi, you don't know me, but I want to hand you a lot of money. And you go, sure, I can help you with that. And like,
Absolutely.
so fantastic. Just like,
Yeah.
coming to you in the river. It's beautiful. So
Yeah.
well done. So well bragged.
Yeah. It's been.
Super excited for you.
I am too. And you know what? I still have a lot of questions about where I'm going and what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm much more grounded in. I'm totally getting there exactly on time. You know, so that a lot of the fear has just, it's not necessary.
So good.
Yeah.
Thank you, honey. So well done. So well bragged. So excited for you. Oh, I had such a pleasure speaking with you today. So that brings we've actually like a little bit over time, but that brings us to our conclusion. I just want to say thank you so much for taking this time today. Thank you for sharing your story, your vision, your shower, your walk, sharing your business successes, the shifts that have happened in your family and relationships. I really appreciate all of that. And I'm so just witnessing in awe and in admiration of like, this is what it can look like.
Truly. Yeah.
Actually be fun.
And it's meant to be fun. Like that's harder to come to, I think, for some reason. But
sure.
it can be fun more often than not.
Yeah. Well, and then having a container where it's like, well, just try it. You know, yeah, everything in you is saying no. But having that container of like you and also like fellow women who are also kind of like, what is this really gonna make a difference, you know, and just trying it on, and seeing the results, and then you try a little more, and then you try a little more, and it feels good. Like that's like the number one indicator, is that immediately it feels better than it did, and then it starts to like impact even like the physical environment. Really cool.
Yeah. I mean, if we had more time, I definitely could talk more about the power of being in your tribe, and that's been awesome. And like the goddess cards have been helpful. You know, like there's a lot of pieces that I can keep going.
Yeah.
It has. So I just want to thank you. Like you saw something for me that I wasn't even really willing to see. So I appreciate that you brought me in, and that you've created this amazing space. Amazing.
Thank you, honey. Aww, love you. Sending you a big hug.
Yes.